Hi guys, welcome to another double review here at StiffUpperLip in collaboration with snus24.com. Today I will try Granit, a brand I have not tried before. It's made by Fiedler and Lundgren, was released in 2004. I believe it's one of the first brands to take up the fight against the big monopoly at the time. For a traditional snus, that is a little bit cheaper. So we're looking at, I would say it's a value snus. It's definitely cheaper than mid-price range like Nox. It's not the very cheapest, maybe like Caliber or Off-Road, but it's pretty close to something like Smålands or Kapten. It's slightly cheaper than Kronan, I believe. So I would put it into the low price snus bracket there. Fiedler and Lundgren also making Lundgrens, which is a full price snus. And then they make Mocka, Blå and Knekt as well. Knekt is pretty cheap and they remade that one. Now should have a little bit different taste than it used to be. But this is a really interesting one. See how it compares to these other low price snuses. Both of these, I believe, have 22 portions in them. The portions are 0.9 grams. Nicotine is normal strength, which means 8 milligrams per gram or 7.2 milligrams per portion. So without further ado, let's jump into these. The catch lid is a little bit, I mean, the actual can is almost like a, I don't know, hockey puck or something like that. It's got a little bit rounded shape to it. It's quite nice. And the catch lid, you can only open there. Pretty small catch lid on both of these. That means you have to close it in that specific spot. Should be traditional snus, cheaper than what was around that time, 2004. Original portion, looking like that for the normal one. I believe there are 8 granites in the range. So you have the original portion and the strong original here. Then you have white and the strong white. There's also one called Maxad, which are really big portions. There's a loose version, which should be really interesting. And now they have 2 new ones they call Granit Sensations. One is mint and one is licorice. So that's the look on that one. The Stark strong one looks identical, I believe. Strong there, normal there. And the smell on the normal one. Smells pretty good to me. A little bit of ammonia coming through, but you know, let it whiff off a bit, it will go away. Quite traditional, strong. They're very similar. I think the strong one, the Stark, might be a little bit rounder, maybe a little bit chocolatey possibly. But I will, as usual, after we look at this, a little bit flat portions, work on them I would say. They got quite good moisture to them. And as usual, I will work my way through the whole cans and get back to you in a couple of days when I've tried it all and tell you how much I like them. I said 7.2 milligrams per gram of nicotine, which is correct for the original portion, but for this Stark portion, the strong one, it's 12.6 milligrams per portion or 14 milligrams per gram. It says Svenskt Snus there on the side, Swedish Snus. I'm pretty excited about these ones, especially this Stark one, because when I do this, I don't want to just look for the best snus out there. I also want to find good value snus, and I think I found one here. First of all, the original portion, it really is like a general light. It's quite mild, but it has a pretty good bergamot taste coming through. It's quite peppery, so it does have a little bit of robustness there, and it's got a good moisture to it, which adds to it. You know, I like an original portion and a traditional snus. So it's a little bit lighter. It's not quite there with the general, but it's much cheaper, and I think it's pretty nice to use. So traditional bergamot, that's not too bitter. It's not as bitter as the Nox. The Nox is a little bit more robust. This is a little bit more mellow, but it's a pretty decent snus. Then when it comes to the Stark one, interesting. Although it's not really strong, I don't really get a huge buzz from it or anything like that. It's a little bit more than the original, but I wouldn't say it's really strong. But I think the taste is a little bit more robust in this one, a little bit more rounded. Both of them have salmiak in it, which is interesting because if it's too much salmiak in the snus, if it's just salty licorice snus, it can put me a little bit off. But a lot of different snuses have salmiak in them, and I think they work as a complement to boost it up a little bit. The Stark Portion is, I think, when I looked at them, they're actually a little bit darker as well than the original one. There's a little bit more to them, I think. Got 2 in there now. And I haven't seen anyone say this yet, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think that the strong one is quite chocolatey. So it actually makes me think in a weird way about the Easter snus from Gotland snus, Påsk snus. But there you have an extract of it that was a bit too much for me without that sort of robust background. It got a little bit like a powdery taste. Here I do get a similar sort of definitely a definite chocolate taste here. In the first can, I've had 2 cans of the Stark Portion, and I'm not getting quite as much in the second one. So I don't know if there are variations here, but I got chocolate at the same time as I get good robust bergamot and pepperiness. So, but it's still quite a mellow snus. It still doesn't have as much taste as a general. So it's. But it's not really general light completely. I've seen a lot of people say that it tastes just like general. At least the first can did not for me. It had a very distinct chocolate taste that was well blended with the bergamot and the pepper in there. So I prefer it to the Easter snus because it's more traditional and it blends better. It has like a robust background to it. With a little bit of extra strength as well, which can be nice. So looking at all the different snuses, it makes me quite excited. It keeps me interested in this because it does have a slightly different taste than any of the other traditional ones, and it does actually remind me a little bit. It goes towards the Easter snus, but definitely more traditional and, to me, more rounded, more balanced, and I prefer this one. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go on the higher end of what I thought, because I've tried 2 cans here. So I'm going to be a little bit on the kinder end there. I'm going to go 6 out of 10 for Granit Original, and I'm going to go 6.5 for Granit Stark Portion. Both for the taste and the strength there being a little bit better for me, which makes this a snus that I would buy again. It stands on its own. It's different to Nox, but for the price here, we're looking at pretty good stuff. One of the better value snoozes I've had, so one that I would definitely recommend. See if you get that chocolate. I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere else, and to be honest, I didn't get it much in the second can. So, but for the first one, definitely there. So good stuff. I like this one. So yeah, if you're outside EU, please check snus24.com out. They carry these. By the way, compare their prices to the competition out there. I think you'll get a nice surprise. They are really competitive at the moment. So yeah, 6.5 to the Stark Portion and 6 to the Portion. And want to try some more Granit now. I think Fiedler and Lundgren got some good stuff on the market for sure. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you hopefully in the next review next week. Bye.